Alright. What's happening, you guys? Ignore the barking from a mile away. Because you're going to be focusing on the sky right here. Let it focus. Okay. The reason why I have it pointed towards the sky. You're going to find out why in a jiffy. I have it pointed towards the sky because the sky is cleared up from, if you live under a rock or not on the west. The fires have been clear and it's beautiful again. It's peaceful again. Right? And I hope it to stay like that. And I have a focus on the sky because this video is about the sky. Well, I normally have it focused away from me because it's easier to talk, but this time it has a purpose. Right? Well, this purpose is to explain about the fire situation and lack of forest management and our government. Like some small timer with 100 subscribers like me is really going to change anything, right? But hey, those that tune into my channel come to hear me talk about shit that you might not care about, so might as well. Okay. Anyway, I want to describe our skies. Look how clear they are. Yeah, there's some smoke over there. It's not too well, but here, it's like there was never a fire to begin with. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, we need better forest management. I mean, right? You can say climate change all you want, but people say that, and then no one does really anything about it. Because it becomes a political thing where the Republicans say, oh, climate change isn't real, it's a hoax, it's just a government ploy, and we don't want anyone to, take out our oil. And then for the Democrats, they say, well, they're working for oil too, so it doesn't really change anything, but they say, oh, we're against that, green energy, blah, 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 but, California's more like a purple state, I guess. They say it's liberal, but they haven't been here in the countryside. This is definitely not liberal. Anyway. You got a democratic state like California. Let's just say that, right? Because mostly is. In terms of population, Senate, whatever. And you always advocate for green energy, pro-environment, and all this. But where is the democratic-led places that have forest management, controlled fires, take out little trees that can potentially spread fires? Where are these democratic places where they're doing that, which seems to be working in other places? Right? And I don't know if those other places are Democrat. But where are these democratic places where they're doing that? If they're not doing it, what the fuck? Then what the fuck are you talking about pro-environment and trying to help the environment and shit for climate change and all that? It's like people, the Democrats just say climate change and all that. Climate change shit as an excuse to get nothing done. Because it's like a hopeless pit that we just can't figure out when there is shit to figure out. I just talked about hemp, 6 months ago. Right? But they ain't doing nothing about it. It's 2 years been legal and like no one's using it for fuel. No one's using it to build things on a major level. It's not no gimmick. It's a real thing. It's the future. Motherfuckers are still, I want to touch that shit, but we fought it to get it legalized, and 2 years later, from 2018, we're not doing anything with it. Anyway, this is about forests and fires. I've seen Republicans talk about, see, this is what happens. See, some about something, you know, the Republican Party where they said so-called Democrats and their pro-environmentalists, right? They don't manage their forests and just create a freaking fire hazard. And, you know, they don't space out the trees, do controlled fires. But, you know, and that just made me thinking, like, you know what? Since I'm an independent, I can speak on this shit. They're kind of right, because Democrats always preach environmentalism. And I've been saying it with the hemp thing, you know. They always preach environmentalism, and you got hemp right there, and no one's doing anything. Not even still now, my statement holds true. I never seen anyone bring up the idea of hemp and try to really construct it to make it happen. It still hasn't. This is the perfect time to do it. But yeah, those motherfuckers got their heads stuck up their asses, and I mean, hey, I don't know. From what I've seen, California and its COVID cases are kind of neutral, because you know, Americans are stupid. Let's say that. Like, I mean, no, it's true. I mean, I'm not just gonna say that. Americans are stupid, ignorant, stuck in their own ways, and they're not gonna listen to anybody and what they tell them to do. Right? They're gonna go hang out in a bunch of group of people, and they don't care if they get sick. They just don't care, you know? Americans are fucking stupid. Anyway, I salute to Gavin Newsom for trying to, you know, bring our COVID down. And the businesses, yeah, they had to close. I mean, what, you want them to be open, business as usual? You know what I mean? You want them to be open with all a bunch of people and crowds around? Like, you really think nothing's going to happen? Are you fucking kidding me? You're in La La Land. I understand him closing businesses. But if businesses can't, you know, cooperate and change with the times of teleworking, well, that's on them, you know? Too bad. It's unfortunate, but it's not Gavin's fault. You know? Blame China and their lack of controlling the virus and making it come here. It's their fault. No, it's not Gavin Newsom's fault for that. Anyway. But you know what I think is his fault? And just, well, maybe not just him, but the whole freaking state, you know, who runs the state? Managing the forests. You know, I've looked at somewhere where, you know, doing controlled fires is a public nuisance, but then major wildfires that destroys communities and entire forests just goes under the fucking rug. And it just makes you think there's some conspiracy, some hidden agenda of trying to kill people, because that shit just doesn't make sense. It's fucking asinine. You know what I mean? Like, that's a public nuisance, but major fires that take out whole towns is not? Get the fuck out of here. And I think after this, they're going to have to start giving that thing where Native Americans used to do, control fires and shit, right? A second look. They're going to be forced to. All their fucking agendas and their excuses about climate change and not doing anything to try and improve it, which is managing the forest, which is better for the forest. For one, to cut down trees, make them spaced out, take out the grass. And two, humans have been doing it long before a bunch of, you know, industrialization era. And three, ironically, you know, keeping those trees, right? The third reason, keeping those trees, like, I don't know whose idea it was. I just could be blowing smoke, but I wouldn't be surprised if some idiot really believed that keeping all the trees together is actually destroying the environment and is not natural to how, you know, forests work. So it's the state Senate's fault for not trying to manage our forests, not even caring, not even putting an idea on the table and really constructing it. And always just blaming it on Trump. You know, that our forests are nationally protected. Well, so what? They're nationally protected, but they're in our state. Donald Trump is not in our state, okay? The Donald Trump and the Republican Senate are not in our state. They're over in Washington, D.C. If Senate here in California and the West Coast really wants to do something to, improve our fire situation and our forest management rather, take some fucking lead, take charge, go over to the, Washington, D.C., Donald Trump and his Senate, and fight for forest management rights. If you motherfuckers really care about managing the forest and stop blaming shit on Trump, go to Donald Trump and take lead, take charge, and say, manage our forests. We want rights to be able to manage our forests because no one's doing it for us. But they ain't even bringing that up. They just talk about blah, blah, climate change. Blah, blah, sea fires going out. Blah, blah, climate change, Ridiculous. Do they really care about us? Do they really care about their own lives? Do they really care about, saving climate change and the environment? Doesn't seem like it. So, Democrats and Republicans are both complete jokes. Let's just get that clear. As a party, they're both jokes, but Republicans do make a good point. If forest management is better under Republican jurisdiction, more so than Democrat majority jurisdiction, then they have a really good point, and it makes Democrats look like hypocrites and really makes them look bad. That they blame it on Donald Trump, but they're not willing to do anything, take charge to Donald Trump and say, look, you fucking orange-haired idiot. Look what's happening to our forests. We want to do something with our forests and manage them. This is nationally protected land, and it's under your right to let us manage it, or you have to manage it. But they're not even bringing that up. I'm just a small timer. Why aren't they saying anything? Do they even care? I mean, any politician, regardless of Democrat or Republican, doesn't care. So I doubt if Donald Trump really gives a shit about us. Why would he? He's like 3,000 miles away, and he's a billionaire. He doesn't know what it's like to be the common American people. Does Gavin Newsom care about us? Doesn't seem like it. In terms of, managing our forests. So, yeah, I felt like that was a very good video, and I got what I needed to say. It said how I wanted to say it throughout this video, and I hope you like it, get some from it. Probably is some that we already all know. If you appreciate my input, leave a like, leave a comment, and whatever. Hopefully we can get more of these skies back, you know what I mean? So I'm getting really tired of it missing. And the more our fucking government, whether it's Republican or Democrat, dumb motherfuckers in power who are going to be forced to have to listen to people's ideas that actually work and get off their lazy asses. Right? We can have more of these days back. If they're just going to keep pointing fingers and complaining, then we're going to have less and less of these days back. And longer and longer fire seasons. And I'm fucking sick of it. Okay? Fuck this. But I love this. Alright, I'm out.